We have been having, of course, many debates about this issue. Friday fury which sinned Uttar Pradesh was swiftly followed by punishment as bulldozers were pressed into service from Prayagraj to Sahanpur and Kanpur. Yogi's bulldozers razed illegal homes and shops of alleged riot masterminds. The Jamaat-e-Ulema Hind got uptight about this, shot off a plea to the Supreme Court, calling this targeted and retaliatory action against those who protested in specific Muslims. Today, however, the Yogi Sarkar, the Yogi government, has claimed vindication. The highest court of our land has refused to block the bulldozers for now, while a notice has been served to the state to show how its demolition drive isn't directed towards a specific community. The Supreme Court has not stayed the bulldozer-led demolition drive. It has certainly set down certain conditions which any sane democracy would expect to dish out. What? Demolitions can't take place without notices. Follow due process of law for demolition drives. Such demolitions cannot be retaliatory action. Must make sure nothing untoward happens. State is given 3 days' time to file objections. The fact that the Supreme Court hasn't stayed the bulldozer drive is being welcomed by the Yogi government in Uttar Pradesh. The Yogi government says that the top court's reluctance to stall the drive proves that the demolition drive was as per law, is as per law, and will be as per law and without discrimination. But despite the court's green light, the opposition still insists that Muslims are being targeted by the Saffron Party. Viewers, let's open this up. Let's ask some basic questions. Why does the opposition think so? Pawan Rao Ambedkar there with us. So is Tehseen Poonawala. Mr. Poonawala, the court hasn't stalled this drive. It has asked some perfunctory questions and set down some directives which are already part and parcel of the procedure. Isn't this a bit of a loss of face for all of those who were siding with, at least purportedly, with the alleged rioters?
Good evening, Rahul. Good evening to you, to the viewers, and to all my esteemed fellow panelists. At the onset, I'm extremely grateful to the Honorable Supreme Court because it came down heavily like a ton of bricks on the UP government, and it set down the laws and the stringent, and it reread the laws, which the Uttar Pradesh government seems to have forgotten.
Has it stopped the bulldozers?
It cannot stop the bulldozers.
It cannot stop the bulldozers. Why can't it? It did so in Seelampur.
No, in Seelampur also, it did not stop. It said it gave it a break.
No, what do you mean gave it a break? Give it a break? Give it a break was stopping it, right?
No,
how can, no, 1 minute. At that time, all of you were very excited and you asked for Amit Shah's resignation, saying he sent in the bulldozers and the courts have halted them, Amit Shah to go. Now, you say, well, here it can't stop the bulldozers. Why can't it stop the bulldozers? If it's an illegality, they'd stop it.
Rahul, I've understood the question. Let me answer it. Just brief answer. In Delhi, in the Honorable Supreme Court, the demolitions were underway. In this particular case, the demolitions have already taken place. Now, you can't stop all demolitions suddenly in Delhi or Uttar Pradesh. That's not happening.
There are more demolitions happening, sir, all around. You are only focusing on Prayagraj. Let me give you the whole score. No, let me give you the whole score because you don't know the facts.
And therefore, how can you stop the entire demolition?
1 second, please. 62 farmhouses razed on June 1, 15 on June 8, 90 farmhouses on floodplains have been razed in 90 days. No one has talked about this, viewers.
But this proves my point.
Tehseen Poonawala, please, excuse me. Let me just finish, please.
Yeah, but allow me to respond.
No Jamaat-e-Ulema, let me at least list the facts for our viewers. No Jamaat organization went rushing there to say stay these illegal bulldozers. You've had illegal property attached to temple demolished, demolition drive in Aminabad area of Lucknow, May 2022. Aminabad.
You're making my point.
1 second. No one went to the courts, viewers. March 2022, Meerut. Illegal property of wanted gangster razed. Badan Singh Badu encroached a public park, illegally constructed a factory and a house. It took 2 days. No one moved the courts then. No one moved the courts then, viewers.
But you're making
They moved the court here. They couldn't get a stay. And now are saying that, you see, The Supreme Court couldn't state. There will be demolitions. 80 more houses have been marked in the very same areas, and there will be demolitions over the next 2 days.
Great. Now, can I please
That's what the state government has said.
Okay, can I please quickly make my point, summarize it? You precisely, by reading out this list, make the point that I'm trying to make. Nobody in the right senses can stop demolition which is within the law. What the citizens
Within the law?
of India...
Then why are you moving the courts?
Please allow me to finish. I just take 2 lines. Thank you. What we, the citizens of India, are to is a glorification of the bulldozer against those who've been alleged to have been involved in activities against the government, which is protest. So in this particular case, this house in Prayagraj was not even on the victim's name or the person who was arrested or her father's name, on the mother's name, and the bulldozer was used upon somebody else's house to punish the entire family. Now, this is against Article 21.
The government in court, the government today in court has said action was not specific to one community. So this was not about targeting. 1 minute.
I'm talking about individuals.
Let me finish, sir, please. Because the Jamaat raised all these points. Tehseen, please, I beg you. Sir, I beg you. You know a lot more than me. I'm only going by what was said in court. Let me finish. The Jamaat's contentions were retaliatory demolition for the riots, raising homes only of riot accused, cherry picking of demolition action, prior notice of 15 days wasn't given. CM2 said bulldozers are against rioters. Action not even during the emergency was seen like this. Jamaat was coming out and saying exactly what Tehseen Poonawala was saying. That is all illegal, targeted at a community, and targeted to punish, to send out a message to only Muslims.
Yes.
Yes.
And
so the Supreme Court should have been very alarmed. And they should have said, sorry, Mr. Yogi Adityanath, we are halting demolitions, number one, even the ones that are going to happen in the next 2 days, the preempted ones. Number two, you must compensate this family. They didn't do it. Dr. Ranganathan.
That will happen. Please, let me just give me 30 seconds, please. I just plead for 30 seconds. That will happen when this case comes to a closure. Yes. Today was the first day.
Why shouldn't it have happened today?
How can it?
Do you think the Supreme Court is going to allow an injustice to continue? Are you doubting the wisdom of your own Supreme Court? Listen, you can't. You damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's a bizarre argument. Heads you win, tails you lose. Sorry, I just don't understand. 1 second, Dr. Ranganathan, I'm not understanding the logic here. Maybe I'm thick.
Rahul, there are 4 issues here. Let me just deal with facts. Number 1, the Supreme Court has not stopped the bulldozing, period. It has said there should be no illegal bulldozing. And the UP government asserts that there was no illegal bulldozing. 2, as far as this particular property is concerned of Mr. Javed Pump, ample notice seems to have been given. In fact, on May 10th, the date of hearing for this case, property being illegal, the date was reset for May 24th and a show cause notice was issued to Javed. He refused to accept the notice. It was then pasted on his building. As per the notice, sir, the owner himself was required to demolish the illegality and inform the PDA within 15 days or by June 9, 2022. This was not done. Now he is playing victim card. Incidentally, half the panelists out here were laughing and giggling and mocking when Kangana's office was illegally demolished by the BMC, as the High Court said, illegal demolition. Number 3, Rahul, the issue is not Hindu-Muslim, as many Hindu properties have also been demolished. The bulldozing of Vikas Dubey's property is being just one example. Strange, isn't it? That all those outraging now were totally silent then. They didn't say Yogi was being communal and selective in demolishing Hindu properties. Yogi has thus far demolished thousands of illegal properties worth 1,752 crores in the last 4 years. Majority of them belong to Hindus. These demolitions are religion agnostic, but your eyes are not. That's the problem. Number 4, Rahul, I have said it multiple times on your shows, and especially after the Khargon stone throwing incident, that revenge bulldozing rioters is, in my view, against natural justice. Tehseen knows it, I've said it. Because even if you want to punish the rioter, by demolishing his home, you are punishing also his family, wife and children who are innocent. You can't transfer guilt or culpability in a crime to a relative. That's against natural justice. And even if the government says that the property is being demolished or on encroached land, that still is illegal and against natural justice, because demolishing a home, even if illegal, has to be done after adequate notice according to the High Court, as life and livelihood are at stake. And you violate the 2018 Vishwanath versus BMC SC judgment, just stipulating 15 days notice. But that's not the only judgment. There are multiple High Court and Supreme Court judgments that stipulate a mandatory notice period before which demolition cannot take place of legal or illegal properties. Tellis versus BMT 1985 Supreme Court, Inderjeet Singh 2008 Supreme Court, Bal Kishan 2010 Delhi High Court, Sudama Singh 2017 Supreme Court, Ajay Makan 2019 High Court. Even street vendors operating illegally need to be given a notice. 10 seconds, Rahul, but in this case, as I emphasized, Yogi gave ample notice, and that is what the Supreme Court should be concerned with, the legality of it.
And that's the reason why that it has not been halted or the government hasn't been pulled up. In fact, I believe that that Yogi is doing a great injustice. He's not following through. All good bowlers follow through. He should also be demolishing the homes of those who took money to allow for these encroachments. Till that doesn't happen, viewers, I believe this is one-sided. Don't just punish one side. Go after all, even the corrupt, even your own bureaucrats who have taken the money to sanction all these encroachments. Pawan Rao Ambedkar, revenge bulldozing, out of the question. The Supreme Court doesn't see it as revenge bulldozing. You were trying to create a fake narrative and incite passions. I'm told that Mr. Masood, I can't go to him, Masood ul Hassan, because his video is jittery and we can't hear him. So we won't be able to go to him today. I'll bring in Karan Verma right after Ambedkar. Mr. Ambedkar, go ahead.
I think Dr. Ranganathan is playing a good role as a spokesperson of BJP. So the reality is this. He told no illegal bulldozing is going on. Listen.
It doesn't surprise me anymore.
Dr.
They don't come prepared. Then you say what you have to say. No, one second. Let me clarify one thing.
You have to join the BJP and you have to become the spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party.
लेकिन आप पर्सनल क्यों होते हैं?
Don't have the real information regarding the Javed
किताबें आपने पढ़ ली हैं?
See the reality.
किताबें आपने पढ़ ली हैं कि आपने लॉजिक को और रैशनल को खिड़की से बाहर फेंक दिया है? अपने बात कहिए ना. और उनका नाम क्यों ले रहे हैं भाई? मैंने आपका नाम लिया.
No, that's why I'm telling.
Ambedkar ji, did I take your name?
No, I don't know. I don't, but you are.
You rebut my point. You rebut my point. आप मुझे ये कहिए कि आनंद रंगनाथन आप फैक्चुअल नहीं बोल रहे थे. आप बोलिए ये. Tell me, rebut my points.
The same thing.
Rebut even a single point. I made 9 points. देखिए मैं तैयार होके आता हूँ. आपकी तरह पान खा के टहलता हुआ नहीं आ जाता हूँ स्टूडियो में.
अरे
अगर आपको पान खाने की इतनी शौकीन है,
सुन लीजिए,
तो आप पान शॉप पे जाके खाइए ना.
That's why I'm telling.
स्टूडियो में प्रिपेयर
comparing you. That's why I'm comparing you with the BJP spokesperson. That's why I'm comparing you with the BJP spokesperson.
मेरा नाम ले रहे हो, बट
spokespersons are telling them.
Is there any point to this?
Rahul, no, better inside a BJP spokesperson.
The man had 2 minutes.
I'm sorry, I'm lowering everyone's faders. Let me go across now to Mr. Karan Verma. Mr. Verma, where do you come in on this?
Rahul, you know, today the Supreme Court refused to halt the bulldozer, and I'm not surprised, and I'll tell you why. This bulldozer did not appear from nowhere. Let me just trace back the roots. Back in 2007, the Supreme Court took cognizance of the various hartals, protests that were happening rampantly. And they formed 2 committees, one under Justice Thomas and the other under Advocate Fariman. And the recommendations of those 2 reports, which the Supreme Court enunciated in its 2009 judgment, Destruction of Private and Public Property versus State of Andhra Pradesh, were that 2 things are most important. One is the identification of the rioters or the alleged rioters, and the second is compensation of the damages. And I'm so glad today that the UP government actually followed through on these recommendations, and they started this whole thing of recovery of damages and the naming and shaming through the posters. And it's not just naming and shaming, it's identification, which is the first part of an investigation. Rahul, we have the section 82 and 83 of CRPC, which also mandates the attachment of property in case the accused is an absconder. But it's not just a legal point I'm here to make. I'm here to make a fact that today we are confronted with a binary, Rahul. Either we have the Hemant Soren model, where you capitulate in the face of adversity and don't stand for the law enforcement officers, or you have the Yogi model today, which will deal with the miscreants with an iron fist, yet in a velvet glove. I think it's time the country moved on and be united with a common creed of law and order, which is supreme.
The law
Let's not
must be
appease anyone,
upheld.
but the common man needs to be appeased.
I understand. The law must be upheld, but also, viewers, justice must also be seen to be done. And as long as that is happening, the Supreme Court is not going to step in. That's the reason why the Supreme Court didn't step in today, viewers. That's the basic fact. That's the bottom line. There's no other reason. Because to impute another reason would be to be in contempt, or worse, hold the SC in contempt. I'll leave it at that.